don't worry, the Dr. Phil and Trump video is coming up next. But before we get to that, I wanted to show y'all this clip of this man, while in London, a reporter asked somebody about Donald Trump. I believe his name is Don Keith. Yeah, they asked Don Keith about Donald Trump, and he's pretty sure that the reporter thought that he was just a random guy who wouldn't know much. But to his surprise,
Donald Trump this week was convicted, was found guilty on 34 charges. What do you have to say?
Well, it's 34 charges, but it was one crime, right? So they charged him 34 times for the same thing. It's lawfare. It's exactly what they're doing to Tommy here. It was a kangaroo court. It was a kangaroo case. They basically took even the people in the district attorney's office call it the zombie case, because it was one where the statute of limitations was up, and then they managed to somehow revive it by connecting it to another obscure law that says, okay, if you committed this crime with the intent to commit another crime, then we can charge you. So that's what they did, and they brought in this highly conflicted judge. We know his daughter's raised millions of dollars or been paid millions of dollars by Democrats. A guy named Dan Goldman paid his daughter millions of dollars. This guy, Dan Goldman, was also the same guy who advised Michael Cohen as to what he should say on the stand to Donald Trump's defense team. Listen, they had the former chairman of the FEC, a guy named Bradley Smith, prepared to come in and tell the jury. He's the leading expert on campaign violations. He came in and was prepared to tell that jury that this was not a crime. He's the leading expert. The judge would not allow him to tell the jury that it was not a crime or that it was not a campaign contribution, the money paid to Stormy Daniels. But the judge wouldn't let him say that, because he said this judge is a narcissist. He said, I'm supposed to tell them law. This judge is not an expert, okay, on campaign law. Antonin Scalia, one of the greatest Supreme Court justices of all time, said, campaign finance laws are so intricate that even I can't understand them. But Juan Merchan thinks he knows more than the former chairman of the FEC, but he wouldn't let this guy tell the jury why it wasn't a contribution, but he let Michael Cohen get on the stand and tell them why it was a campaign contribution. So that was exculpatory information for Donald Trump that he would not allow. I think it's going to get reversed. If the appeals court in New York doesn't reverse it, they're going to reverse it at the Supreme Court.
Man, this guy bit off more than he can chew, the reporter that is. First of all, the one thing I got to give him credit for is the fact that he's allowing this Trump supporter to speak. We got to give credit where credit is due, y'all. Y'all know the leftists, they ain't giving us no type of room to provide any positive grade on their behavior. But I got to give him that. But he definitely bit off more than he can chew, and I'm curious to see how he's going to respond to all of that. Like, I really want to know if he heard any of it.
Final question, and it's going to be the easiest question to ask. Easy questions. Yeah? You believe that?
I love easy questions.
Yeah. Let's agree on something.
Sure.
Okay.
Donald Trump is a dodgy geezer. Why should anyone elect him?
Donald Trump, he's a dodgy geezer. Well, his delivery isn't always perfect, but I identify with Donald Trump's delivery because I have to put myself in his position. If myself and my family were attacked every day by every media outlet and every politician in the United States, I think I might be a dodgy geezer, as you say. But Donald Trump's policies are why I love Donald Trump. It has nothing to do with how he speaks. I personally like his delivery. I think he's passionate. I think he loves the American people. I think he tells it like it is. He's not a bought and paid for polished politician like Barack Obama or some of the others that we see who come out and tell the public what they want to hear, and then they get in office, they get elected, and they don't do a thing that they said they were going to do. If you look at Trump's first campaign, everything he said he was going to do, he did.
Did he build a wall?
He built a wall. He built 500 miles of wall. He
Still short.
It was the lowest immigration in the last 40 years, lowest immigration numbers in the last 40 years. Our inflation was the lowest. It was less than 2%.
So don't you believe he did a little dirty with Stormy?
No, I don't believe so. As a matter of fact, we have that in Stormy. You don't have to take my word for it. You can take Stormy's word for it. She actually wrote a letter and signed her name to it saying this never happened.
That doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah, apparently not in Judge Juan Merchan's court because it's a kangaroo court.
Anyway, sir, thank you very much. It is going to be an amazing day.
Thank you.
And if you know my stuff, I like to tickle your toes being devil's advocate.
I like to be tickled.
Ow! Now, the only thing I'm mad about is the fact that I can't find the other half of this clip. Like, I'm on his page, can't find it. I just really wanted to know what the tickle part was, because it ended a little sus. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Oh, but we need more people like this, you know, more Trump supporters to be able to sit there and stand up for justice. I'll say it like that, because what we're seeing right now is nothing but straight lawfare, and he laid it out so perfect, you know, from the witnesses not being able to speak, who would completely deflate the case altogether, to the judge being this egomaniac, you know what I'm saying? And this guy, he knew his stuff. And he tried every little angle to try to shut him down, but he didn't. He played it. He definitely played his cards right. Don Keefe, that is. What I will say is, I truly believe that reporter was hit blindsided. He didn't know what was gonna happen. You know, people tend to walk up to people and assume that they kind of follow the same rhetoric and they're under the same kind of impression in terms of the president. Really, Donald Trump is the president for real, you don't need to be. But in terms of Joe Biden and Trump, you rarely find anybody that's in between. You always find the extreme. I mean, all the way extreme. It's either F Trump or F Joe Biden. And y'all know it ain't F Trump over here. Ooh, it is hot in here. I want y'all to also keep in mind that this actually took place in London. The support for Donald Trump is worldwide. We got them in San Francisco yesterday. Residents gathered together to support President Donald Trump.
This is history.
Hey. So it's safe to say that the Democrats made one of the biggest mistakes they could have ever made by convicting Donald Trump. So many people are now showing support, you know, because of that. And it's crazy. All because he got a felony, right? And believe me, the support extends. I mean, it extends not only through other countries and, you know, things like that. It also transcends culture, it transcends ethnic background, all that. Trump, bro, he's bringing us together.
Chinese American support Trump. All right. So the reason is the Democrat administration, Biden administration, lead this country towards socialism and eventually towards communist dictatorship. We came from China. We know this is the way. This is not like people here don't understand what is a communist is. We know communist is, what communist is. That's why we support Trump.
This is really interesting because I'm also Chinese American myself. So I know
you haven't lived in China, I guess.
I did. I grew up in China.
Oh,
I grew up in China till I was 17. I'm from Shanghai. But
Shanghai.
yeah, I don't want to talk about my opinions because I'm a journalist. So I just want to hear more about your opinions. You know, as immigrants, a lot of people might say that Trump is anti-immigrant or
Trump is not anti-immigrant at all. It's just against illegal immigrant. It must be.
Oh, and the Trump support continues. Before we go back to London, we're gonna go ahead and take it back to New York, which, you know, on down Broadway in NYC, where a massive flag in support of Trump was displayed. And last but not least, I told y'all we was gonna go back to the London, where they are literally chanting Donald Trump.
Let's hear it. Trump, Trump, Trump.
Now here's the thing. Some of these clips I'm pretty sure are older. I just seen a community note under one of them, but that truly doesn't matter. What matters is you're able to see the London clips. That is, I want to make sure we very specific. The London clips they saying are a little bit older, but still doesn't matter. Simply because the legacy media, mainstream media, they painted the picture that Donald Trump is not loved anywhere and people just hate him and he's just this stain on the earth of America. And we're seeing that to be proven completely wrong. The support for Donald Trump is continuing to grow, and with this latest conviction, it's only going to continue to, his popularity is only going to continue to rise not because of the actual conviction, but because we are able to clearly see through the lawfare and the tactics that the left is using to try to suppress this man from being able to run for president. And we know why they want to suppress him. You know why? You know, y'all don't know, y'all heard what he said about Hillary Clinton. Now, we said that for another video, but he's a threat to the deep state. He's a threat to traditional bought and paid for politicians because he's somebody that can't be bought and paid for, and he moves with some moral and integrity while everybody else is out here just moving for their pockets. Y'all be safe, man.